All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ron Pitcock, and I am the Wasnick Family Dean of the John V. Roach Honors College. And I just want to say we're thrilled to be here, and we want to thank you for being patient. We apologize for the broken link that was sent out to you on your portal, but we're glad that the admissions worked with us to get the right link to you. And now we're here and we're live and ready to go. We are going to copy this so that if you miss something, you can also get information that we're going to share, and you can also ask questions. We have a team of people behind the scenes who will answer questions that you have. So if you go down to Q&A, they will there we have a team there. They'll answer questions as you ask them. We're also going to pay attention to those questions because we're going to make sure we try to answer them for you there. So I hope that's okay. I hope you're fired up. We're ready to go. We have students, we have a professor, we have an advisor. So we're going to just jump right into it. All right. And I'm going to share my screen. We're going to start here and get you some and get this going. All right, Titus, can we see the screen? Are we good?
It looks great.
Terrific. All right. Well, everybody, again, this is the John V. Roach Honors College. We're thrilled that you're here. To join us today are a few people. There is, let's go to the right screen. All right, Titus, is it still there?
It is not.
Oh, well, then that's not working. Okay, we'll do this a different way. All right, everybody. So one more chance. Okay, Titus, can we see it?
Yep, I can see it. It's not in present mode though.
All right, let's try it in present mode. Are we good, Titus?
Looks great.
All right. And we'll go it this way. How about that? You seeing everything?
Yep, looks perfect.
All right. So again, this is the John V. Roach Honors College. I'm Ron Pitcock. I've worked for TCU since 2001. I serve the university as Wasnick Family Dean. Joining us on this presentation are people that are going to give you important information. First, Justine Grace. Introduce yourself, Justine.
Hi, everybody. My name is Justine Grace. I am one of a fantastic team of honors academic advisors, and we help serve students to navigate the honors curriculum and achieve their goals while they are here at TCU. And I'm so excited to be sharing a little bit of information about the curriculum with you this afternoon.
All right, terrific. Also joining us, we have Dr. Sarah Vardabedian.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yes, as you said, my name is Sarah Vardabedian, and I'm a professor within the Honors College. And later on in this session, I'll talk to you a little bit about one of my classes and the philosophy, the thinking behind the pedagogy. So I look forward to talking with you then.
We also have 4 students, our senior, Venetia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Venetia Inaganti. I'm a senior neuroscience major on the pre-med track with a minor in Spanish for health professions from Dallas, Texas. A little bit about me and some of my involvements on campus. I'm an RA in one of the freshman year dorms, so I work a lot with first year students. I also am a research intern at the Institute of Behavioral Research, working with substance use populations over there. I also am very involved in the Honors College. I serve as treasurer of Honors Cabinet. I'm an honors ambassador as well as a mentor in the honors mentorship program. I'm also very involved in our pre-health leadership council, as well as serve as a pre-health ambassador. So that's a little bit about me, and I'm excited to talk with you all today.
Terrific. And Venetia, what are you doing next year after graduation, which happens in about a month?
Yes, after graduation, I will be attending medical school at UT's medical branch down in Galveston.
That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Catherine Piskrich is our junior representative.
Hello, everyone. My name is Catherine Piskarich, and I'm a junior psychology major with a general business minor from Houston, Texas. A little bit about me and my involvement within the Honors College. I serve, similar to Venetia, on the executive board of the Honors College Student Cabinet as their vice president. I'm also an honors ambassador and an honors mentor in the mentorship program, which has been fantastic. Outside of honors and on campus, I'm involved in a couple different organizations, including a Greek Honors Society, as well as I serve as a research assistant in one of TCU Psychology's research labs for comparative cognition.
Awesome. Thank you, Catherine. All right, Titus, you're up.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Titus Fagan. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm a sophomore, accounting and finance double major with an energy business minor. As the screen says, I'm a big country music fan, especially the old 50s and 60s country. I think that's a treasure that we should always hold on to. On TCU's campus, I'm involved with various things. First and foremost, I'm in our Student Government Association that represents the student body. This year, I'm their Academic Affairs Committee Chair, and I'm running for Vice President of the organization for next year. On top of that, I'm involved in a business group at TCU that's also an honors program called the Neely Fellows Program, and I'm in some business organizations as well.
And what are we doing this summer, Titus?
This summer, I get to go to Munich, Germany, a part of the Honors Frog Camp with Dr. Pitcock and all of the frog campers, and I'm really excited about that.
Fired up about that. Thank you, Titus. And Sam Sewell, you're our first-year student.
Yes, I am. So my name is Sam Sewell. I'm a freshman here at TCU. I am a biology major with a Spanish for Health Professions minor on the pre-med track here. A couple of things I'm involved in on TCU's campus. I'm an ambassador on campus, so that means I give tours for incoming prospects, students, but also those just wanting to check out TCU. I also am part of a first-year leadership cohort called Frog Aids, where we learn about how to be a leader, learn different types of leadership styles, and then we kind of put that all together. And at the end of the year, we do a big project, which we're actually doing in about a week and a half. And we're doing a game night in support of a nonprofit here in Fort Worth called Alliance for Children. And so that's been an amazing opportunity here at TCU. And then outside of TCU, I'm not involved in a whole lot yet in Fort Worth since I just got here, but I love to hang out with my friends and also love to run on the Trinity Trail. And so that's definitely a spot I love, and would definitely recommend that if you like to get some exercise outside and get to soak up the the Fort Worth weather.
And quickly, Sam, what did you do for spring break?
For spring break, I got to go to Berlin, Germany on an experience with the Honors College for a week where we got to learn about the culture and the history of Germany and of Berlin, and got to experience the city. I went with 16 other students, other freshmen in the Honors College, and it was an incredible experience.
Terrific. Thank you, Sam. All right, everyone. First thing we're going to do is talk a little bit about what does it mean to be an honors student in the John V. Roach Honors College. And when we talk about honors, I really want you to put aside the idea that honors means more work. I want you to put aside the idea that honors means more classes. And I also want you to put aside the idea that honors is about rigor for the sake of rigor. Because in the John V. Roach Honors College, what makes an honors course is not rigor for the sake of rigor or more work or more courses. What makes an honors course an honors experience really is about the quality of the work we're doing and the level of engagement and the type of learning our students are participating in. And it begins here. It begins here with this Roach Honors Pledge. And we want our students and our staff and our faculty to all agree that we are dedicated to intellectual inquiry. We like to ask questions. And we're also dedicated to lifelong learning, that the courses we teach it may happen within the scope of a semester, but they actually change and they last for a lifetime. So I expect to hear from you in 10 years about a course you took in the fall. We're also about critical thinking about ideas at 360 degrees, really thinking around the ideas, through ideas, looking at it from multiple perspectives. We're about personal and academic integrity, and that's important. And then finally, we're about engaging other people in earnest and respectful discussion with an open mind. And that open mind is about listening carefully. It's about thinking about different perspectives, and it's about really coming to a full understanding of an idea, an issue, a debate, or a discussion. So that's what makes an honors experience. That's the foundation of an honors experience at TCU. And then it really gets into 4 themes. And these are themes I want you to listen to as we answer questions today and as we talk, all right? And I just want to point out, again, you can ask questions, you can type questions in the Q&A box, and then we have a team of people who will who are answering questions behind. So they're just waiting for any questions that you have. First, the theme I really want you to think about is active learning. In the John V. Roach Honors College, we are all about having courses that you're not going to find at other universities, and those courses are about engaging you and motivating you to become an active learner. So our courses could be a class where you're being asked to consider what does it mean to live a life of empathy, and what does empathy look like in the community. So those students may actually go out and engage nonprofits and work in the community with agencies to come to an understanding what empathy is. It could be a class that's about design thinking, where the students are working together as a class to tackle a social problem like low literacy levels in Fort Worth. And so they're working with leaders in the community to actually do design thinking and come up with social solutions to the social problems, and then presenting those solutions and hopefully really doing some work that addresses the social issue of low literacy levels in Fort Worth. So that's a class that's happening this semester. It could be a class where you're actually doing the work of studying nonprofits, visiting nonprofits, and then um, debating where $100,000 real money should go into what nonprofits and why, and making the decision for whom are you responsible. The point here is our students at Roach Honors College are doing. And that's what it means to be an active learner. We don't design classes with the ideas that you're going to sit there silently and just take notes and then have to regurgitate that information on a test. We're about doing, we're about engaged learning, we're about active learning. We want you to really make the ideas and the learning your own. And you do that by participating and by doing. The second thing I want you to think about is meaningful engagement. And in the Roach Honors College, we want you to not just test on ideas, we want you to know those ideas, and we want you to like own those ideas. And that happens by having engagement and having deep conversations with professors and with your classmates and with the ideas and with the community in general. It's also about what does it mean to be an honor student? Because if you come to TCU and you're part of Roach Honors College, I'm thrilled. But if that's all you do, I'm probably not going to be as thrilled, because I want you to be engaged at TCU. So that meaningful engagement is within honors, it's also outside honors. And so when you talk about TCU honors students, those students are leaders across this entire campus, and they are leaders everywhere. It could be in religious communities, it could be Greek communities, it could be student government like Titus mentioned. Honor students at TCU are leading everywhere across campus, and they are engaged everywhere. So if I go to a theater, I'm going to see students. If I go to a football game, I'm going to see students all over that stadium who are doing things, who are honor students. The next thing I want you to think a little bit about is supportive community. And the supportive community is important because the Honors College is a community that we're of high achieving students, but more importantly, they're highly motivated students. And they're students who achieve a lot, but it's because they're supported by phenomenal individuals. And so the supportive community begins in that first year in Milton Daniel Hall. And in Milton Daniel Hall, we have the expectation that first year students will live there. And it's because we know that those students need that community in that first year to really grow and to get engaged quickly, and to also kind of set the foundation for what the for the rest of their college career will look like. When we talk about Milton Daniel, it's a special place. Right now I'm reading senior interviews, and they're all saying that the first year in Milton Daniel Hall was the best. It was the most supportive community that they had in their 4 years. We have evidence that students who are in Milton Daniel their first year do actually graduate with higher GPAs and have higher GPAs at the end of their first year than students who are not in Milton Daniel. We also have a strong advising community, and you're going to hear from Justine in just a second, but our advisors are phenomenal, and our advisors support students, and they're here from 8 to 5 to meet with honor students. So that supportive community exists. And then our upper level students have created a real mentoring community and a mentoring program to support first year students. We're about student success and supporting you, and that leads to the fourth theme of student success. TCU honors students graduate from TCU in 4 years or less. They're not sticking around for the 5th year unless it's for a graduate degree. TCU honors students love their honors experience so much that they remain in it. And the thing I want you to understand about that statement is this: the national average for students who start in honors and then are in honors program or college at the time of graduation ranges between 30 and 40% annually. At TCU, every year we're above 85%. And that's because we have systems and programs and a community in place to guarantee student success. and we do everything we can to help and support those students. And what I love about it is not just do they graduate and not just do they finish in honors, but they're happy and they're thrilled with their experience, and they're highly complimentary of what we do to support them. And that I'm reading that right now in senior surveys. And that kind of leads to this. Everyone asks, what's the purpose of an honors college? An honors college, what we do is not, you don't do the John V. Roach Honors College because you think it's going to look good on a resume. That's the wrong reason. And we also aren't a box checking culture. So if you do these things, you get a fancy stole and then you did honors. To me, that's just like you're doing something for the wrong reason. You do honors at TCU because it's going to make you distinct and it's going to make you uncommon. On this slide, you see a lot of impressive jobs and scholarships and graduate schools. In every single interview for these positions, the student talked about or was asked about an honors course or an experience. And what's important here is that it's how the student answered and how they talked and how they discussed their honors course or experience that made them distinct. It's not that they did honors, but it's what they learned in the process of engaging the honors courses and the honors community, their honors professors, and their honors advisors. And that's what we're here. We're here in the business of making students successful, but we're also here in the business of making you distinct so that you stand out when it comes time to step away from TCU. That's enough for me. Justine, would you be willing to talk about curriculum?
I would be happy to. Hi, everyone. So we're going to go over the honors curriculum kind of in a nutshell, and we are going to start with the lower division portion of the curriculum. So as entering first year students, starting your time here at TCU, you will begin your honors journey with the lower division portion of the honors curriculum. So this is mostly first and second year students who are working on this part of the curriculum. It typically consists of 15 hours worth of coursework. Now, courses are usually 3 hours here at TCU, so that's 5 total courses or 5 total requirements. These are broken down further into 6 hours or 2 classes of courses called Cultural Visions, and 9 hours or 3 classes of courses called Honors Electives. So on the next slide, we are going to talk about what exactly is a Cultural Visions. So Cultural Visions courses are classes that focus on cross-cultural inquiry and cultural difference, and they are going to come from all different parts of the university, all different disciplines, all different departments. And the things that I really like about especially our lower division honors classes as an academic advisor is that these are integrated into what a student already needs to graduate here from TCU. So all of these wonderful courses, video games and representation, social innovation and change, rhetoric of gratitude, faith and social movements, understanding science, these all have core attributes for the TCU core. So while you're making honors progress, you are also making TCU core progress, which is incredible. It's wonderful. The other portion of the lower division part of the curriculum, so again, those things you're going to be working on usually in your first and second year, are called honors electives. And again, these are courses from across the university, classes like public address, honor sections of survey of musical theater, honor sections of microeconomics, international politics. So I really, again, love to see these courses offered for our honor students because they're going to help them make core progress. They're also going to help them make minor or even major progress. Microeconomics is a first-year business class. International politics is a first-year poli-sci class. So not only are you doing, your honors curriculum, finishing your honors requirements, you're elevating your total undergraduate experience because you're integrating those honors courses into the classes you need to earn your degree here from TCU. So that's lower division honors. Again, that's what you're going to start with whenever you first start your time here at TCU. Now, looking ahead further along in your junior and senior year, you will go on to pursue upper division honors, the second portion of our curriculum. This is when you are either going to look at some interdisciplinary options or dive deep into your discipline, into your major. And so we have 2 different tracks. We have university honors and departmental honors, and then of course, because this is the Honors College and we're never going to dissuade people from overachieving, if students have the time and interest, like some of the students on this call today, they can decide to do both university and departmental honors. So let's dive a little bit deeper. What are these different tracks? University honors, these are often, these are called colloquia classes. So these are going to be big idea, interdisciplinary courses that students from all majors can engage in. And so students will take 3 of these classes, typically starting in their junior year. Classes like Giving and Philanthropy, a little sneak peek at Dr. Vardabedian's class, Perfecting Your Pitch, Empathy, Life Online, Design Thinking. Again, these courses that can be applied to multiple disciplines and that students can really kind of explore the breadth and enjoy having these, very exciting conversations and outside of the classroom experiences as well with these university honors classes. And then our other option for upper division honors is going to be departmental honors. So these this experience, this research focused experience is going to be for students who really want to dive deep into their major. And it will vary based on a student's major. So our friends in the College of Science and Engineering, they're often working in faculty research labs, and that's how they're going to pursue their departmental honors research. Folks who are in the fine arts will usually put on a creative project. So whether it's a performance or a final portfolio, that's what they'll do for their departmental honors projects. Our friends in business and strategic communications, they'll do things focusing on case studies, best practices. And then people maybe in the liberal arts and the social studies will do some of those like traditional research projects where they are conducting interviews, doing surveys, looking at different data, and presenting a really comprehensive final project. And so these students are not left on their own. They work with a faculty committee. They are able to present their work in their senior year. And then the final written product is actually posted in the library catalog. So you can see all of our undergraduate research projects in the TCU Library undergraduate in the catalog, which is very fun. And so that constitutes most of our curriculum. We do also have some study abroad options. So for students who are pursuing the lower division portion of the curriculum, a lot of our students want to study abroad, whether it's for a summer, whether it is for a semester, that can actually count towards your lower division honors requirements. Again, we want to streamline your experience. We want to elevate your experience and incorporate honors into what you would want to do already. We also do have some honors exclusive opportunities. Most specifically is our cultural roots opportunity. That is what Sam got to experience this past spring break. That is reserved for our first year honors students. And they were able to go to Berlin this past spring break. And then we do have some cumulative GPA requirements in order to remain in good standing with the Honors College. TCU, our GPAs are calculated based off of a 4.0 scale. So an A would be 4 points, B would be 3 points, etc. So by the end of your first year here at TCU, to remain in good standing at the Honors College, we want to see at least a 3.0 cumulative GPA. So that's about a B average. And then at the end of your second year, we'd like to see a 3.25 minimum GPA. End of your third year, a 3.4. And then by the end of your fourth year, in order to graduate from the John V. Roach Honors College with all the distinctions, we want to see at least a 3.5 minimum cumulative GPA. Now, again, these are minimums, and we often see students who are way above this here in the Honors College.
Thank you, Justine. That's terrific.
Thank you.
Everyone, you're in for a treat right now because Dr. Sarah Vardabedian is going to give us a peek inside one of her courses. And I just want to share Dr. Vardabedian is a phenomenal professor, and she's a great example of the sort of teaching that we want an honors college to have. She's also a former honors professor of the year, which means that students chose her as their favorite and most influential professor in the college. So go for it, Dr. Vardabedian.
it feels like a lot of pressure, but I've got a great hype team behind me, so I appreciate that. Thank you. My thinking on this is you've gotten this wonderful glimpse from my colleagues about what this program is all about. And so I thought what I might do is I might look ahead to the next chapter, and maybe we could think about what this program equips you to do. And so if you're like me, it's possible that you've had a little bit of anxiety about the future. And in this case, I mean specifically the future of work. We see all of these technological interventions. We see so much rapid change that sometimes it's a little hard to feel like you know what skills you'll need for this new frontier. And it was honestly in pursuit of that answer that I spent around 5 years in Silicon Valley working as an executive speaker coach and writer. And it was during that time that I was working for the Magnificent Seven, as they love to call themselves, but I was working for them, and I was getting to see what was it that they were emphasizing in their employees? What were they looking for in employees? How did they think that the technologies that they were inventing right then were going to change the trajectories of work in the future? And it was from that time that when I stepped back into the classroom, I believe it was last year, that I thought, okay, I feel from this time that there are two skills that I cannot see technology displacing anytime soon. And those are two skills that I really want to inculcate in my students. And so the first one was creative problem solving. And the second one was being able to effectively advocate for your ideas. And so it was with that in mind that I created this course that Justine mentioned earlier called Perfecting Your Pitch. And the idea with Perfecting Your Pitch is that students are going to take a big idea from germination to execution. And along the way, they're going to tangle with this idea, and I'm going to bring in experts in the various fields. I've brought in litigators and writers, people to come in and talk about how it is that the skills that they're learning in the class right then are going to transfer into these various disciplines. And the class was just a revelation for me, because not only did I tell students, you're welcome, stay within your discipline, study what you know, but I also said, also feel free to walk away from that for a moment and just pursue a passion or pursue something that's a big idea, a big question that you've been wanting to tangle with. And so it was with that charge that I got some of the best speeches. I had one student give a speech on why it is that Gen Alpha desperately needs delusion, or as she referred to it, Delulu, which I say so that I can sound cool and on trend. But the idea with it was, as she was saying, here's the thing. I'm pulling in economic research, I'm pulling in psychology research, but what I'm seeing is that the landscape that we've been handed as a generation, that delusion may be the greatest strength that we can develop. And so it was great. It was profound and it was personal and it was everything that I was hoping for. And then another student gave a speech on why it is that the sleeplessness that you endure in college is like a metaphorical prison, which I know for parents on the call that is just music to your ears. But the good news is that she found by the end of her college career that she had broken free from the prison. And so that was the point of the speech. So there is hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. But all of these speeches were great because what my students did before they delivered these TED-style talks at the end of the class was I actually brought in some of my former colleagues from Silicon Valley, some executive speaker coaches, and they came in and they put the students through their paces. And I love that. That was precisely the goal, because what it gave them was this sense of earned fearlessness, the sense of not being intimidated to put themselves out there, the sense of, they deserve to be at any table, in any room, and that they could hold their own. And that's what I think I want. And I know what all of your professors want during your time here in the Honors College is we want you to find that footing so that you can find your voice and feel emboldened to forge the future that you envision. And so it's with that I will actually hand it back over to Dean Pitcock, because I know the stars of the show, our students, are getting teed up and they're ready to answer your questions. So thank you. And I hope I see you in my classroom.
Thank you, Dr. Vardabedian. You're terrific. I appreciate you. Real quick, we're going to move to students and we're going to answer questions. But after we complete this, you can always send a question to this email. And we have people who will work to answer your questions over the course of like 24 hours if they can. But if you send a question there when we get off here or any point in the next month, we're happy to answer those questions. And the last thing I want to say before we turn to students is this. Every year, we have students who get invited to the John V. Roach Honors College who forget to do this. They forget to go into their portal and accept their invite by May 1st. And what I want you to understand is every single person on this webinar has been accepted to the John V. Roach Honors College. And your invitation is gold to many people. Right now, I'm getting multiple emails a day from people wanting to know how they can get an invitation to the college. And so I kind of want to put it into perspective for you. We had over 3,177 applications this year. So 3,177 students applied to the John V. Roach Honors College. We gave invitations to just 26% of those invitations. So we give invitations to students who deserve it, and we also want to make sure we give invitations to students who we think are going to maximize this program, who will really be invested in what we do and will be successful. And so we're thrilled to be able to spend time with you, but we also want to make sure that if you accept your invitation by May 1st, because if you don't, if you come back May 15th and say, oh, I want to accept, but our class is full, we won't be able to let you in. So that date is important. That May 1st acceptance date is really, really important. All right, everyone. So we're going to hop off the share here and we're going to answer some questions. And I kind of want to point out, there's everybody, happy students. Okay, wave to them, students. All right, they're real. See, they exist. So we're going to make them answer some questions, and you can type in questions in Q&A. Again, we have a team of people who are behind the scenes answering questions, and they're doing a great job. I want to thank them all, but I also want to make sure we get a chance to the students. So students, Sam, we're going to start with you, first-year student. Tell me, what's it been like for you as a first-year student at TCU, but also in the Honors College? And then Titus, would you follow up with that?
Yeah, so definitely a lot different than I was expecting. I came from a really small high school, so I graduated a class of 35 students. So this was a very big step up in my life and a very big change. And so coming into TCU in general, but also coming into the Honors College, was a huge change for me. But the one thing that really kind of allowed me to really adapt to the college life really quickly was the TCU and especially the honors colleges, just way that they really want to come alongside students and really help them in their place of life wherever they are. And so what I mean by that is, I'll give an example of my honors advisor. I met with her on I think the first or second week of school, and she really helped me make sure I was on the right path for my major, but also really helped me just kind of get a grasp on, what was I really wanting to do with my time here at college? What are some things I should, get invested in? How can I navigate this college life going forward? And so that really helped, and that really made me see that there were people here at TCU that were really wanting me to succeed. But not only that, I was actually I got to be a part of an honors mentorship program that I really, really would encourage. If you're deciding to come to TCU and be in the Honors College next year, I encourage you to be a part of this program, even if you don't think you need an older student to help you out with navigating college. It's always great to have someone that you can sit down and you can talk to that is also a student. And so I got to be a part of that program, and I got with the mentor early on coming here to TCU and the Honors College, and he really helped me navigating how to balance college life, but also like with academics and with fun, with keeping personal health at a high importance, and all those factors that come in that you might not think about when you come into college, but are really whenever everything starts getting going. Those things you can maybe neglect those types of things like sleep and, eating well, but also like hanging out with friends, making sure you're studying a lot. And so having that, that mentor really helps me see that it was possible for students to continue to succeed with, continuing to get busier as we go on in college, but also that, gave me a lot of encouragement that I could do it too. And so that's definitely like was the first has been my first year, has been kind of trying out new experiences. And kind of really helping tell myself that I can make this big jump. And that's a big reason why I came to a bigger school like TCU compared to a smaller school. I just wanted to get out of my comfort zone, and TCU really allows and really encourages you to get to know new people, get to know people that think differently from you, and also just try out new experiences. Even if you don't like it, it's no harm in trying. And so yeah, that's been my first year so far.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, I think Sam did a great job of showcasing the culture that the Honors College provides that really helps that transition from high school to college. Kind of going back in retrospective now that I'm a sophomore and almost becoming a junior, I think I kind of view the Honors College as all of the opportunities I've had on campus, all of the roads lead back to honors, whether that's my involvement in student government, which started from campaigning in Milton Daniel. I hate to admit that. I mean, it's good, but campaigning can be brutal. But I remember doing that my first year to kind of try to get representation in student government, whether it's applying for the honors cabinet, which is a leadership organization within the Honors College. I learned about that opportunity through in the honors lobby of Milton Daniel Hall. And same thing with the business program that I'm in called Neely Fellows. And there's more and more examples than that. But I think those showcase the value of an honors education and honors experience is it opens your horizons, your doors to a lot of different experiences. And there are other communities that you can get that. But I think the Honors College at TCU is uniquely positioned to be able to plug students into what they're passionate about and to what they're going to be successful in. And that kind of is a culmination of the community with the fellow students that you're in, plus the amazing leadership that we have in our Honors College as well. So those things all come together that give you a really great experience. And so if you're looking for that, which I hope all students are looking for opportunities in college, this is a great first step to get to where you want to be in college.
I think you're muted, Dr. Pitcock.
Thank you, Venetia. I appreciate you. You have my back. There's a question in the box, and so just a brief answer. But they're interested in knowing, are there many honors business students in the Honors College? Anybody want to hit on that one? Do you have any friends that are business students?
Just a few, yes.
I could take that because I'm a business major. Oh, sorry, Dean Pitcock, I think you're muted again.
I don't know what's going on, but we're going to get through it. All right. We'll just blame the admissions thing early on. All right. So let's go. How many business students are in the Honors College from your impressive, given your experience? Go.
To put a number on it, I don't know, like maybe like 30%, a third kind of matches the university percentage, I'd imagine, which is 30%. So right around there.
Yeah, good job, Titus. You are a business student. But yeah, so business majors actually are our second largest population in the Honors College. The largest is science engineering, and that will make Venetia happy and Sam happy and Catherine happy. But business makes up our second largest student population group. Real quick, I'm interested in hearing, Catherine, you talked a little bit about research early on. Can you talk about those opportunities because you're doing research in psychology, yes?
Yes, I am. So I got plugged into my psychology research lab, having taken a class with a professor. He reached out to me asking for me to be a research assistant in his lab. And so that has kind of been my life this past year, junior year, kind of getting thrown into research. For any of you who are in those science and engineering majors, I would highly encourage you to get plugged into a research lab. It is definitely a daunting title because there is a small proportion of people who actually can be a part of the various research labs on campus. But really reach out to your professor. Luckily, I had formed a really close connection with him and had done well in his class. And so he reached out to me. But all it has to start with is a simple conversation. Now I am kind of a seasoned research assistant. It's my second semester there, and I just traveled to Albuquerque, New Mexico to help present at an international conference on comparative cognition, which was an amazing experience with my research lab. And Venetia, I know, is plugged into a research lab as well, but it has been an amazing experience, amazing learning experience that now wanting to pursue a career in research and in psychology has really set me up for success. And I've really gained a lot of those leadership experiences through the Honors College that has definitely provided me some confidence to step into a season of new experiences. So it's definitely been a great opportunity and one that I have been well prepared for through the Honors College.
All right, let's take this off. I'm reading through questions right now, and there are a lot of people who have questions about Milton Daniel Hall first year. And so I'm kind of interested in hearing about your experiences, because I think anytime somebody goes to a university, they have a perception about this is what my situation is going to be. And then there's always, do I live in a residence hall, or in the honors house? Are they all just nerd people and they just, what are they? So I want to understand Milton Daniel Hall. But I also want to say I appreciate all the questions, because I too am a parent, and I have students who always were nervous about going to college and what were their living conditions going to be like. And I'm guessing, Venetia, you're in your residence hall right now. So teach me what is it about Milton, and what is it, and why is it important?
Milton is the first year residence hall for honors students, and I had the opportunity to live there in my first year, and it was the most amazing experience. I think that nerd stereotype is something that quickly gets debunked. Like the moment you start living in Milton, you learn that everyone has a super interesting story, comes from a unique background with wonderful life experience. I'm still very close with everyone that lived on the same wing as me in Milton. They're some of my best friends to this day. We actually have like graduation photos next week that we're all taking together. So I guess that just goes to show like those are relationships that you keep with you throughout college. And another aspect of the Milton experience that particularly impacted me was the role of an RA. My RA was a biology major and she was a senior. So going through everything I'm going through right now, but having someone who was at the end of the process while you were at the beginning of it was a great person that became my unofficial mentor. I knew I could go to her for any questions that I had. She really helped ease any anxiety or stress I had about the classes I was taking or any future plans I was making for the upcoming years in college. So that pushed me to want to become an RA for other students who are going through that same thing their first year. That's what I do right now, and I love it.
Titus, Sam, Catherine, anything else you want to add on Milton?
I'm living in Milton right now. I'll just add a couple things. So first of all, Milton is a very tight-knit community. I think it comes from just in the honors college, you're with a lot of students that are like-minded, and that are passionate about what they do and what they're studying. And so, walking out of Milton, I can't walk out of Milton without seeing people I know now. And it's an incredible experience, and it really gave me just a lot of encouragement. Just realizing that there are, people on in college and on TCU's campus that are that want to be my friends, but also that I want to be friends with. That can be a daunting thing whenever you're coming into college, but Milton really makes that easy just with the tight knit community. I also want to say that, when it comes to, leaving Milton is going to be a tough thing for me. I think that that's probably something that's a consensus with everyone else in this call as well. I bet leaving Milton was a hard thing. But that just showed me how valuable the experience was to live in Milton. And I am definitely going to miss it, but I definitely encourage if you have the opportunity to live in Milton, it's definitely one that you should take.
Why are you giving thumbs up, Titus?
It really is an amazing place. You have many different people put into one building, and it's an amazing thing to see. You'll have organic chemistry majors, or not majors, sorry, people taking organic chemistry, writing equations out on the board, collaborating with each other. At the same time, you'll have the Milton Daniel intramural team winning flag football. So you've got the people who are more who like athletics. And then you've got other people who play piano and are musically inclined, and they'll sit in the lobby of Milton Daniel and they'll play the piano and they'll play musical instruments and sing together. So you've got this place that puts all of these different majors and all of these different students into one room, and it creates an environment where you can know tons of different people on campus and really get a good pulse on what it means to be in community and honors. And it makes Milton Daniel such an amazing experience.
Yeah, I'm going to add something and then you can tell me if it's true. And then I got a bunch more questions. But from my perspective, I'll go every now and then I'll go over to like Pancake Palooza, or I'll go over to an event that's going on in Milton. And what I see is that there are students from other residence halls who are trying to come over to Milton events because because they look at Milton and they're like, oh, Milton's a community. They don't think of it as just a residence hall. And so whenever Milton puts on something, we have students from all over campus who are trying to come to the honors events, whether they're honor students or not, because they like that community. Is that fair? Is that an accurate read?
I still go to Pancake Palooza, so absolutely.
Terrific. All right. So this is a quick science question, Venetia. All right. Somebody was asking about the difficulty of science and stuff at TCU, and they talked about organic chemistry as a killer. How did you survive organic chemistry?
Yeah, organic chemistry is a tough one. I'm not gonna lie, but I think an important part about being a pre-med student prior to going to medical school is building resilience. This is not an easy path that you're going towards. And I think that's one of those classes that really tests you and allows you to build that resilience. I think I guess a tough thing experienced in that year was learning to ask for help. I think a lot of pre-med students struggle to do that and, think that they can do it on their own. And I think throughout that class, I learned that asking for help is the key way to success in a lot of the courses that you're taking. Yeah, it was a hard class, but it's worth it. I think there's a reason why TCU students perform well on the MCAT, are able to get into medical school at higher rates than the national average, and it's just because of the challenging and rigorous coursework that TCU provides.
Quick question here. Do we have student athletes in honors? The answer to that is yes. There are plenty. We have student athletes. We've had tennis players that were on the national championship tennis team. We've had football players, equestrian, #1 ranked volleyball team, outdoor volleyball or sand beach volleyball, whatever we're going to call it. There are honor students on that. So yes, there are a number of athletes in the Honors College. We get a lot of people talking about nursing, and so we have a number of nursing majors that are in honors. In fact, we have every college has students who are in the Honors College, and some majors are more difficult than others, but that's why we have an advising team with advisors like Justine who are working to help students get through. I'm kind of interested. Somebody wanted to talk a little bit more about research. Catherine, you mentioned your research and how you kind of got into it and what you did. Venetia, do you want to talk some about your research?
Yeah, absolutely. So coming into college, I knew I was really interested in public health. And in my freshman year Principles of Behavior class, there was actually a grad student who was working at the Institute of Behavioral Research who came in and talked about, it was called the SOAR Lab, so Student Overview of Applied Research. It was a lab that they were starting through the IBR that the goal of it was to connect graduate students with undergraduate students who were interested in getting into research. So I joined that. I had a great experience my first year learning about the research process, completing a research project that I presented at the Student Research Symposium at the end of my freshman year. And after that year, I then applied to be an intern at the Institute of Behavioral Research. So I was now at the big lab working with the big Ph.D. research scientists, just learning more, getting on bigger projects and understanding more about the research process. And through doing that, I came up with my own research project idea. So at the end of my sophomore year, I actually applied for an honors undergraduate research grant. This is a 2-year grant that covered funding for my past 2 years of research to complete this project that I was interested in. And it's actually been the project that I've used to complete departmental honors. I'm actually presenting on it this Friday, so very excited about that. But it's been a great learning curve. My research advisor wrote me an amazing recommendation letter to medical school. I've spoken about my experiences doing public health research. I work specifically with substance use and opioid use population, so has great overlap with my neuroscience major as well as going into the medical field. So I've spoken at length about those experiences in my medical school interviews. So I've loved it. I highly recommend it. I know research isn't something everyone is interested in, but if it is something you are interested in, definitely reach out to professors, advisors. They're more than willing to get you plugged in.
All right, hold on. Let's have some fun. You ready? I got a couple more questions. We're going to get some. I have some people answering questions behind, but real quick, just for some excitement. Most unique or interesting honors class that you've had a chance to take or are taking. Can we do it? All right. You ready? Catherine.
So my sophomore year, last year, my first semester, I was able to take cultural contact zones with Dr. Juan Sola Carpaccio, who is an amazing and very, very intelligent professor. This was by far one of my favorite classes. It was a student-led kind of flipped classroom approach where we got to interview global leaders almost every single week, specifically looking at female leaders in Southeast Asia, which was really interesting. We got to collect research, do some research on the actual global leaders, collect questions that we were interested in, actually conduct the interview with them, and then transcribe the interview and post it to Dr. Sola's website online called Women Who Changed the World, if you want to go look that up. And it was just very empowering to be so encouraged by a professor to be the change that you wish to see in the world, which is always something that I've kind of really approached in all the opportunities that I've been given within college, and to be empowered by a professor and by global leaders, especially from a female perspective, which was by far one of my favorite classes.
All right, Sam, let's hit a home run. Let's go.
All right, so last semester I took a class called Rhetoric of Gratitude that was actually taught by Dr. Pitcock. But this class was a new class at TCU, only for freshmen, is at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, Thursday. So that was definitely a new experience for that. But this class basically taught about what is gratitude, but not only that, how can gratitude be applied to your life? How can it benefit your life? But also, how can it be applied to other people's lives, and how can it benefit their life as well? And so we really kind of got in depth of studying kind of the history of gratitude and how it used to kind of be integrated in Greek and Roman cultures. And then we kind of learned through TED Talks, through articles about how people view gratitude, how people view it differently. What's the difference between something like appreciation and gratitude, and how do those words, whenever we say we appreciate someone or have gratitude, kind of what's the difference between that? But kind of all of that study, and we even kind of went through and wrote a paper based off of interviewing 3 TCU faculty or staff, and we got to kind of get their view on how do they think of gratitude, how do they apply it to their life, and kind of was able to, with those interviews, kind of create a picture of what does gratitude look like on TCU's campus. But all of that all of that learning and all of the investigation into what gratitude was accumulated to our final, which was deciding on where should we give $70,000 that was given through a donor to nonprofits. Basically, our assignment was to find what were called nominated. We called them cultural heroes, basically. And basically, it was our goal was to, through these nominations that were given by nonprofits, we were supposed to decide which of these were these heroes, these community heroes that were doing great things in the city of Fort Worth through nonprofits, but didn't really get a lot of recognition. And our goal was to give them the recognition that they deserved, because they were really were making a difference in lots of people's lives through these nonprofits. And so we decided on those, and our final project was going on a Zoom call and was getting to present these grants to these nonprofits, and to really just really get to benefit these people's lives, but also show them that the work that they're doing, that we see it, we appreciate it, and that give them encouragement to continue doing it. So it was an incredible class. I did not expect anything like that for first semester at TCU, and it blew me away. So great class. Definitely recommend taking it.
You're sweet, Sam. You did a nice job. That was a triple. All right, Venetia, you ready to go?
I actually have two that I can't pick between, so I guess we'll talk about both. But last semester, I took a class called Deconstructing Disney, which was a colloquia class, part of University Honors, where we analyzed and learned about the Disney Corporation, the story of Walt Disney, the history of the company, the development of the theme parks, movies, everything that went along with it. And over fall break, we had the opportunity to actually travel to Disneyland and get to see everything in action, just the themes we've been talking about in class, looking at how they actually played out in real life. We got to do some ethnographic research at the parks and use that to present for our final project. So that was an amazing class. I think it's really rare that you find a class that talks about Disney as like the main focus and theme for it. So I really wanted to take advantage of that opportunity. And this semester, I'm in a course called Giving and Philanthropy, which was touched on before. This class is also taught by Dr. Pitcock. And the premise of the class is that we've been given $100,000 of real money, and we have been tasked with giving it away to at most 5 nonprofits. So at the beginning of the class, each student nominates 4 to 5 nonprofits in the Fort Worth community. And through continuous research, we whittle that down to 15, which where we're at right now. We conduct site visits at those nonprofits, and in a few weeks, we're actually going to have our final debate, which is when we decide what nonprofits we're giving to and how much money we want to give to them. It's been a great class. We've learned how to analyze nonprofits from various perspectives, looking at their financials, also trying to understand our own giving philosophies and using the giving philosophies of billionaires as different models to understand how different people approach giving. So those two classes have been incredible. Highly recommend for everyone.
Thank you, Venetia. I do want to point out, we actually have 2 sections of giving and philanthropy, and my colleague, Dr. Vardabedian, teaches the other section. So that means that every spring, our college gives away $200,000 to nonprofits in the community, but it's all determined by students. And she's putting on a game face. She's resting up because the final debate will go over 10 hours straight. I feed them and water them. They'll be fine. All right, it's your turn, Titus. Bring it.
Sweet. I think my biggest or my most favorite honors class so far has been a class called College Life and Identity with a professor called Dr. Nixon. She's fantastic. But the reason why I love it so much is because coming to college and figuring out what you becoming an adult can sometimes be a little difficult, and you don't know, like you feel like you have to figure it out right away, and that can be difficult. And so this class is really mostly discussion based, where you get to talk with your fellow classmates who may be struggling or who may have opinions on stuff that you're struggling with. So it's just really a constructive community that's building everybody up and really helps you kind of adopt that emerging adulthood that the class kind of talks about, so that you can kind of know where you are and who you are. But I think one of the biggest things I've taken away is the nature or the importance of mindfulness. There's another class in honors that's also called mindfulness that I haven't taken, but this class also touched on mindfulness, and that's super important because as you get super busy and you're going to get involved in honors, because all honor students get super excited and do a lot, that can make you stressed. And so taking time to live in the moment and relax and live with the people around you is super important, and that's what the class really taught.
Terrific. Thank you, Titus. We have about 5 minutes left. All right. And one question I have is, how many freshman students or first year students are in the Honors College? We shoot for a class of 275. That sometimes we'll get more than that, and sometimes we'll get less than that, but rarely do we get less. But we shoot for a class of 275. So Marie Martinez is responding to a question about what are the fun events in the Honors College? Do Honors College students like to have fun? And if so, what do they do? Make this quick, all right? Let's go. Titus, you look like you're having fun. Lead off. Then Venetia, Sam, Catherine.
The honor students definitely have fun. The Honors Cabinet, which is a leadership organization, again, inside the Honors College, is planning a pickleball event next Wednesday. It's going to be a collaboration between the faculty and the students. So we're going to go out on the courts And Dr. Pitcock is going to make an appearance, as well as some of our other amazing honors faculty, as well as our students. And so that's just one thing that you get to take a part of or be a part of as an honors activity in your free time.
Yeah, I'm very excited for pickleball next week. I think Milton hosts a bunch of events every week. They had Milton prom last week. I saw those photos. Those looked so fun. So, Sam, I hope you had a fun time if you went. Um, but Cabinet hosts a lot of fun events in the honors mentorship program. We have group meetings a few times a semester where we cater food, allow students to really mingle with each other, speak to not only their mentors, but other mentors within the program, mentees. So we do a lot of fun stuff at those events. And I know the Honors College also hosts lawn parties on the Milton lawn every semester, which are also a great time to engage with admin, faculty, other students, and have some good food.
Yeah, there's a lot of events that go on in the Honors College, specifically a lot going on in Milton Daniel. But one of them that I always love to go to is every month we bring in therapy dogs. Pax and Phoebe are their names, and they come every month to the kind of the front of Milton, and the students flock around them because sometimes we need some dogs to help us out with the stress of school. So that's definitely one thing that that the Honors College puts on. But just in Milton Daniel, there's arts and crafts stuff that happen every week that the RAs put on in Milton. But even there's also just a lot of fun things going on within Milton that aren't even set in stone events. The basement of Milton is kind of the hangout spot. It's got a ping pong table, but also a TV in there. So watching sporting games, but also sometimes some movies on the weekends is a fun place to just kind of hang out and have some fun with some other Milton Daniel JVR honors freshmen.
Definitely a lot of those really fun experiences that you have freshman year, kind of as Sam was mentioning, carry on until your college experience. I am in a duplex with 10 other girls and 7 of them are in honors. So you're going to meet your best friends when you're in honors and it's amazing. But another, one of my favorite events that we host, especially within Milton, is the Honors College Showcase, which happens, I just checked the dates, and it's August 25th through 27th. Parents who are on the call, make sure your students are there. Students who are on the call, make sure you're there. And this is where we bring in the dean of every single college on campus at TCU, actually within the Milton lobby. You just have to walk outside of your dorm room and down some stairs to come visit them. And here at TCU and within the Honors College, this is one of the only opportunities where you will have all of the deans in one spot for the students within the span of 3 days, which I just think is personally amazing. You get to go up, shake the hand of your dean of your college and really meet them and have that personal interaction, and also meet students within the first 2 weeks of school that are in your same major, and kind of just bond in that way, not only with your fellow students, but also with these really higher up level faculty, which I think is really neat about the Honors College.
Catherine, it's not just deans.
Oh, and it's you.
No, I am a dean.
I know.
But it's not just deans. Who else comes?
The chancellor or the president.
Oh, the chancellor, yes,
provost,
and
yeah.
the provost.
Provost, chancellor, president. So if you're a student in the call, what Catherine's saying is that within the first 2 weeks in your living unit, you can meet every single dean, including the medical school dean, the chancellor, the president, and the provost. And I think you'll be hard pressed to find another university where that happens. And that happens because the students in our honors cabinet make it happen. So I'm grateful for all of them. Real quick, who in this chat is like a plane ride away from home? Anyone? I think most of you are driving, yes? So we can find an answer. Marie's going to answer that question. I just want to say we have about 3 minutes, but I just want to say I'm thankful to every single one of you. If you're a student on the call, if you're a parent on the call, that May 1st deadline is important. All right, so make sure that if you're the student that you go into your portal and you accept, and if you're a parent, make sure that you are showing some loving push to your student to get them to accept. All right, but maybe somebody decides, oh, I don't know if I want to be honors. I want to live here, or I don't want to do honors because I think it's going to make my life harder. So 2 sentences, each one of you. You ready? And then Justine, you're going to get a go on this one too. All right, you've been working answering, but we want to hear your voice. Sam, let's go. Sam, Titus, Catherine, Venetia, and Justine. And Justine did honors many years ago when she was a TCU student. Why do honors? And then we're going to get ready and close this.
2 sentences. Okay. Definitely do honors for a different perspective in life. And then also I would say do honors to meet people that are like-minded.
Do honors because it connects you to community, and do honors because it helps you discover your passions.
I'm a firm believer in iron sharpens iron, and that is what honor students are to one another. It's much more than just classes. It's a community, it's a support system, and it's a new perspective.
Do honors because it links you to so many opportunities that you wouldn't know about otherwise, and links you to incredible mentorship and upperclassmen who are doing incredible things on campus.
And while our student panelists are a car ride away, I was an out-of-stater who knew no one at TCU. So my first sentence will relate to that. Do honors because it will become your home away from home. And do honors because it changes your life so much that even after you graduate, sometimes you get to come back.
I want to thank everyone on this call. And first, I want to thank the audience because you've been amazing. You've given great questions. I want to thank the people behind the scenes who are answering questions. I want to thank Dr. Bardabedian for taking time out of her life to talk about her class, because that was terrific. And I want to thank Justine for taking time in her office to do this work. And then most importantly, I want to thank the students. I think the 4 of you are wonderful. And I really do. At this time of year, you have so much going on, and for you to take time out to spend with the people virtually and to answer their questions, I think every single one of you is wonderful. I want you to finish strong. Now that now it's time to hit the grind. So let's go. All right, let's not relax. Let's finish strong. You got that, Sam?
Yes, sir.
All right, everyone, you've been wonderful. We cannot wait to meet you this summer if you join the Honors College, and we also cannot wait to see you in the fall. If you get more questions, please send it to honors@tcu.edu. And other than that, have a wonderful evening. Honors is looking forward to meeting you, and we love Honors, and we're looking forward to working with you. You're all wonderful. Thanks, everybody. Go Frogs.